Hello everyone, it is Lisa with Wild Acorns Pottery. It is April 4th, 2023. It's a nice day today. The sun has finally come out and it's warming up here in Cincinnati, Ohio. I don't know how the weather is in your area, but we're big weather advocates and we love to watch the Weather Channel. I know we're geeks. Anyway, I am doing a big bowl today, and I am using transfers. These little, can you see these transfers I'm going to use? And I'm going to use them over underglazes. Yeah, over underglazes. This is B-Mix 5 with grog. I threw it on the wheel. I bisque fired it to cone 04, and I'm going to put underglazes on the bisque. Then I'm going to put the transfers over the underglazes. And then when it's dry, I'm going to put the clear glaze, a zinc-free clear glaze, over the top of that. So I'm going to do that all in one step, and then I'm going to glaze fire it. I don't like to do more firings than I need. Some people, always complain that they smear their underglazes when they're putting the clear on, or their transfers, but I have never had a problem with that. I use my magic brush. This brush is just, I just love this brush. It's a Amaco Soft Fan Brush number 8. And I know that reads backwards, but see, the difference is, see how thick it is? You put a lot of glaze in there. When you're glazing it with the clear, just like a plunger, you want to put this in there in your glaze bottle, get it filled up with glaze, so that when you're applying the glaze, the clear glaze, you're not smearing it. I see so many people glazing like this, no. Gentle. I always tell people, gentle when you're doing pottery. The only time pottery likes to be manhandled is when it's being centered. When you're pulling the walls or taking the time to open it, unless you're a production potter, it does not like to go fast. So anyway, so let me lower you down, and I will show you what I'm going to do here. Now I've got I use Amaco Velvet Underglazes. Some of these are strictly right out of the bottle, and some I mix myself. So some are custom mixes. Now they look kind of cruddy because they've been sitting in this tub for, gosh, months, probably since last November, and we're now in April since I've used them, and you can see how wet they are. But I have added some water to some. There was about 3 of them that you can tell were a little dried out, but they are perfectly fine to use. Amaco Velvets are my favorite, just because I've never had them stick to the kiln shelf, and I've had some others stick to the kiln shelf. For the most part, any glaze that you put thick enough on the bottom of your pot will stick to the kiln shelf. Obviously, you cannot put any regular glazes on the bottom of your pots unless you're stilting them, and that's a whole nother thing. I like to keep my underglazes in this tub because I actually like for them to dry out a little bit. It makes them a little bit more potent, a little more concentrated. I know they sell semi-moist underglazes for a lot of money, but save yourself some money, pour them in a tray, and just keep filling them up, and they dry out enough to use. Not so much you can't use them. I've never had them get rock hard. I mean, like I said, I haven't used this in 3 months. So, and like I said, I like them to be dried out a little bit. So I'm going to start with the bottom here. Move this out of the way. Hopefully my kitty cats will stay out of the way. They love to play in the water. Let me get a drink here. Oh yeah, 7-Up. Okay. So the underglaze, or the transfers I'm going to use, which are really made with underglazes. They're nothing but underglazes stamped on rice paper. They're little potted plants. So on the bottom here, I'm going to do like a little pond with some little goldfish. And let's see. I probably will have to wipe hard with this one. I'm gonna, like I said, some of them have gotten a little hard, but that's okay. They'll be more concentrated. So this is going to be the water. And you can use underglazes, of course, on greenware, which means it's never been fired. It's just raw clay. But I don't know. I have always liked to use my underglazes on bisqueware. For me, if I make a mistake, it's a lot easier to wipe it off. And I don't know. For me, it's easier to see what I'm doing. I can see the colors better. So I'm just kind of mixing this. The last time I did some waters, tried to make some watercolors, it still turned out a little darker. Underglazes, it's pretty much what you see is what you get, but they do look a little darker when you fire them. Sometimes I know the oranges can get really orange, really bright. So if you don't want them that bright, I gotta. There we go. So I want to make it look kind of like water. So I'm going to add a little bit of water to it to kind of blend them a little bit. Let's see. So that's. Oh gosh, I have a friend. Hi Molly. This is Molly. So for some reason, when I'm over here painting, they like to keep an eye on me. Now that stinks. Poi poi. It's kind of funny, when I opened up this glaze tray, this underglaze tray, it really stunk. No, Millie, no. Now I got another one. I don't know why. I thought they were sleeping. I thought it'd be safe to do a video. What? You want to help? Huh? You want to help? That's poi poi. You can't have that. No. No. I think she sees the brush swirling around maybe and thinks, you know. There we go. Yeah. All right, let's see. Now I need a little brush here. Excuse me, girls. Yeah. These are two cats. Oh, sorry, Millie. Millie and Molly. We rescued them. We got them from our SPCA. They were feral cats, and somebody fostered them, and they were pretty sick when they got them. Hi. And I know when we bought them, we had to give them some medicine too. They were a mess, but they have become so friendly. I spent a lot of time working with them, and hi, Millie. Millie's a little skittish still, but for the most part, they're extremely friendly. So. But they love this water bucket. Okay, so I've got, it doesn't really matter how many coats of underglaze you put on. If you have at least 3 coats, you're pretty much going to get the color that you wanted. If you do less than 3 coats, it can burn out. Oh my goodness. You ham, you're hogging up the whole camera. So I try to at least put 3 coats on. Millie, hey, come on. Here, you can look at this over here. Come on, get out of there. You're going to get your paws all in paint. They're always so curious. Let's see. I always like to do fish. And of course my dog has to bark in the background when I'm doing a video because he's... we had 3 dogs and we lost 2 of them last year. So he's having a rough time of missing his 2 other doggy brother and sister. So he, you know, he's always whining for attention, and he's become kind of a handful. But the cats, you know, he gets along great with the cats, and the cats love him, and we thought that would really help, but it really hasn't too much. So I'm going to stir these up a little bit because they're a little hard to use. Okay, I'm going to put another little fishy here. I think I'll do one more here. There we go. Then I will mix well, I tell you, I think it's going up to 70 degrees today here. We're not used to that. It's been in the 30s and the 40s, and it's kind of weird to have it so hot all of a sudden. So I'm going to get a little tray out here so I can mix this orange. This was orange I mixed myself. This is just basically, this is bright orange, and this is bright orange mixed with brown underglaze. So, like I said, some of the colors are out of the bottle, and some of them I've custom mixed. So, okay, I'm going to put another coat on here. Oh, Millie. I don't know why they become so curious when I'm over here. It's been a while since I've actually done a video. I've had, this room was just packed full of stuff out of my horse trailer that I had turned into a retail, like a little retail shop for when I sell my pottery at art shows. And so it was just really hard to get enthused about painting and doing pottery here when it was packed full of boxes. And no, I need that brush, honey. I need that brush. No, you cannot have that brush. Let's see. No, hey. No. Oh, shoot. Darn it. She just stole my brush. Oh, goodness. Hold on one moment while I get my brush back. Oh, shoo, you cannot have that. Who would have thought that cats love brushes? They steal my brushes and my sponges, and I find them all over the house. Okay, so this is really probably the third coat. And now I'm just adding some lighter colors to them, just so it's not a flat, I don't want it to be a flat orange. I want it to be a little interesting. That's the only thing when you're using underglazes. The colors can be flat. They don't move and show texture and things like some of the transparent regular glazes. I mean, there are some regular glazes that are just gorgeous, and so these don't really move and flow. Once you put them in place, they stay where you put them. So if you haven't mixed different colors in there, you know, it'll look the same of how you put it on there as when after it's fired. So if you don't make it interesting, it's not going to be interesting, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You're not getting that brush, Millie. I splattered a little bit of orange in here, so I'm just going to kind of go over that. Yeah, I hid that brush. You can't have it. Okay, now I'm going to put some little pebbles around here with my brown. And this brown, I actually ran out of brown, so I mixed red, black, blue, purple. Oh, hey now. Oh, goodness sakes, these girls. So what I was saying is I had run out of brown, so I mixed like purple, blue, black, red, a little bit of yellow. You are really in the way, Missy. So I'm just going to paint some pebbles on here. I'm going to make them all different sizes. Oh, that's dirty water. Millie, come on. Come on. Oh, gosh, you're a big girl. There you go. They're only like 9 months old, but they're big cats. Okay. Can you see the little goldfish in there? So I'm going to go over and outline those with my Zyme. I don't know if you can see that. It's a Zyme applicator bottle with a number 20 tip. I have Amaco Velvet Jet Black Underglaze in there. And I've watered it down a little bit. I always tell people, add a little bit of water. If you turn it upside down and it drips out, you've added too much water. I'm on a 2-week break now in between teaching classes at the Recreation Center. It's been a lot of fun teaching the classes. We've got a lot of new people this last session. It's always fun to teach new potters. It's kind of hard when they get frustrated. You know, When you're taking pottery classes and you're only there 1 day a week for 2-3 hours, it just takes a lot longer to learn, and you just have to be patient with yourself and forgiving, because pottery throwing and learning to throw pots on the wheel is easy. But it takes time and practice. So unless you have a pottery wheel at home or a studio where you can go in there every day, because I didn't really learn how to throw pots very well until I bought my own wheel at home, and I just threw and threw and threw, and until you suddenly get that muscle memory. Millie, leave the camera alone. Hey. No. She's trying to bite my phone. Until you learn that muscle memory, it's hard to remember all the steps, and then, everybody does it differently too. If you watch potters throw on the wheel, everybody does it a little differently, and that's okay. You just have to figure out what works for you. So that's why, it does take practice, because I usually throw, when I'm throwing by myself, I throw differently than when I'm teaching. I try to teach the basic way to do it, because that's the way I learned it first. And so, okay, so I've added, this is kind of a dark color. So now I'm going to add a little bit of this brown to, I'm rinsing out my brush over here in the water bucket. The little bit of white, because like I said, I don't want just plain old brown stones. So I'm just going to add, just real quickly, a little bit of texture to them. I do a lot of things, a lot of designs with fish. I don't know why, I've always loved fish. I've got an aquarium in my house, not a real big one, it's about a 70-gallon. I can't say I'm a very good fish keeper. They like to die on me, I don't know why. But but I have a little fish pond outside with goldfish, and I just uncovered that, and they all look like they're doing pretty good. There was a couple big frogs that didn't make it. Whew. I have to get my net and get them out. They always smell really good, kind of like these paints when you open them up after a while. If you notice, when you open up, usually the yellow is the worst for me. It'll smell like the sewer. It's awful. So I'm going to add a little bit of water to my brush, and I'm just going to smear these colors together a little bit. I don't want them so stiff. In fact, I'm going to add a little bit of water here like that to this brown. But you can take, if your underglazes smell really bad, you can take a teaspoon, probably a teaspoon, depending on how much you're trying to get rid of the smell of. Take a teaspoon and put it in a pint-sized jar. the bleach will get rid of that smell usually, and it doesn't hurt the underglaze. Chris, were you showing that Daddy's not home? Goodness sakes. He's looking for his daddy, the dog he is. That's Archie. He's his couch buddy. Okay, so now rinse that out. I'm going to take my fan brush. I had to steal back from Millie. And I'm going to, let's see here, I need another cap. I usually save lids from all sorts of stuff, and I don't know what to do with them all. To steal the lid off this new Zyme. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's taped on. No wonder I can't get it off. I bought myself a new... I thought I had lost the last applicator bottle from Zyme. And so I bought another one. And then I found the old one. Isn't that always the way? Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of this darker blue here. This is a royal blue, and this actually might be a speedball. When I was having a lot of problems getting Amaco Velvets, I broke down and bought some speedball. Okay, so I don't want to put a whole lot of on here. What kind of, it look like the sky, kind of, just kind of like a watercolor. So I'm just going to brush it on very loosely. And I probably should have, in hindsight, I should have put the blue water, then the blue sky, and then the rocks over the top. But I wasn't thinking ahead. Sometimes I do that because I'm one of those painters where I just kind of fly by the seat of my pants, which sometimes works out and sometimes it doesn't, but I don't know. It's just the way I work. I was never good at following patterns, and even when I do my stained glass, I don't use patterns. It's all, you know, I cut out a bunch of pieces of glass and just kind of play with it and put it together and see what looks good and what doesn't. And then I leave it sit, and then I go back and, you know, keep looking at it. And I'll get a little more water in here. There we go. I think I'm going to wipe off some of this because I know this color, when it's fired, it fires darker, and I don't really want it too dark. And I'm probably going to have to go back over those stones. Although I might be able to. I do not want this really dark blue. Normally I would use the color of the water, but since I've got the water in there, I don't want the colors to be too close together and blend too much. So some underglazes, when you put them on, some of the colors will burn out. This royal blue is not one of those. I'm going to put words on this side, so I am going to sponge some of this excess off too. I just really want a little bit of color, not a lot. I hope everyone's doing well out there. We're getting ready for Easter here. We don't really do much for Easter. In fact, I think this year we're staying home and just having us, you know, myself and my two sons. There we go. So that'll, like I said, I don't think any of that'll burn out. It's just royal blue speedball is just not one of those colors that does that. It's let me make sure of the name. Yeah, royal blue. I don't know if you can see that, but it gets more intense. It's one of those colors that does. The bright orange does the same thing. The Amaco Velvet bright orange gets more intense. So I think I'm going to brush just a little more of that off. The problem is, you know, when you put it on like this, sometimes the thin spots burn out and then all you're left with is the dark little smears. But like I said, the royal blue doesn't usually do that. Okay, I'm going to go over these rocks a little bit, just to kind of take some of that blue off of there that I got on there. So I'm in an art show, I think I am anyway, coming up on May 6th. It's called the West Side Marketplace. It's a really nice, it's you know, farmers market / art show, craft fair. They do a really nice job of diversifying all the different people who are selling stuff. They've got, you know, farmers selling vegetables, fruits, flowers. They have booths where people bake stuff. Jewelry, of course. You know, jewelry's always a lot of vendors, you know, always are doing jewelry, and pottery too. Pottery's gotten pretty big, especially here in Cincinnati. We just had NCECA here, which is a big clay conference, which I didn't get to go to because I was injured. I fell back in December and hurt my knee, my good knee, not my knee that I had a knee replacement. It was on crutches for a while and then a cane, so I'm still kind of doing it, you know. My knee still hurts, so hopefully I'll be okay doing the show. But anyway, what I was going to say is this show requires liability insurance. So that's what I'm looking into now, trying to find it. Because my insurance company, I don't know, waiting for a call back from them, but they're like, we really don't do, you know, show insurance for one day. And I hate to pay for it for a whole year for one show, so I don't know. If I don't get it in time, I'll probably be booted out. Which, you know, it is what it is. Okay, so that's the way it looks now. Doesn't look too exciting with just the underglazes on there. So I'm going to, let's see, I think what I'll do is go ahead and put the transfers on. So I've cut them out. This came in one big sheet, and I thought I had some left, but they come in a big giant sheet. And I believe these are Sanbao. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Sanbao. It's but their website's ChinaClayArt.com. But they do some wonderful, cute transfers. So what I'm going to do is lay these on here. I've got hang on, let me find a different sponge. I can never find my sponges, of course, because the cats steal them. Okay, so I've got a damp sponge. Let me get the cat hair off of it. Jeez. But you want to squeeze out all the water. You do not want it really wet. It will smear it. Okay? So stick it in the water, get it wet. Get it all out of there. Or squeeze as much water out as you can. Jeez. And then just dab this on there. Just like that. Sorry. Okay, so then we'll take the next one. My handy's all laying here, and then the cat's got them wet. Yeah, make sure your hands are dry too. Some of these are single, some of these are double, depend on if they were sticking together or when they were made, they were the designs intertwine. And let's see, let's do another one. And so anyway, so now these are all sticking together because the kitty cat's kind of wet. Make sure when you're putting these on, you're putting the dark side down. That is the side with the ink. Or with, really, I should say the underglaze. Okay. Let's do another one. Oh, the two are identical. So you can find a different one here. Yikes, they're all sticking together. Oh, that means they got wet. The darn kitty cats were splashing water. Okay, and then I need let's see, a double one here. You really don't want to smear too much, but you want them to just be wet. You want to get that underglaze wetted down so it transfers to your plate, to your piece. Okay, let's do another one. Right. Now I got one that's got 3 of them. That's cute. Oh, I'm going to wait on that one because I've got one just like it next door. So I think I'm going to put one more single one. A little single plant here. There we go. Then I'll put the 3 on here. Yeah, there we go. There we go. I can tell that it's warming up. I can feel my allergies kicking in. Goodness sakes. Okay, so there's how it looks so far. Hopefully this won't look too weird having these plants in here. I have not done one. Usually I draw grass and some flowers around it. This is the first time that I'm using the transfers in this manner. So, and I don't have a picture of this finished at the end of this video. I probably won't until I don't know if I'll fire. I'll probably take these back to work and fire, maybe. I just haven't been firing much at home. It's been kind of, I don't know, I just haven't been doing a lot at home. It's hard to do pottery, I think, by yourself. Like, I enjoy doing it with the people in my class. You know, you can talk to people, and it's kind of hard to just sit by yourself in a room and do it. Some people are more motivated, I guess. I think having an art show coming up, you know, is a lot of motivation, but I've got so much pottery left over from last year. I just not very good about listing it on my Etsy site. I really have to get better at that. I do have some stuff up there, but you know, bowls this size are hard to sell on Etsy because they're so heavy. They're very expensive to ship. I mean, this bowl would probably be at least $20 to ship, and you know, people are used to free shipping on Amazon, and that's what Etsy wants us all to do, free shipping on Etsy. But my gosh, you know, if a site says free shipping, it's probably not really free shipping. You know, you have to, you know, if this bowl is $45, you can't give free shipping, then you're only getting $25 for it. And then, you know, and Etsy takes like, what is it, like 8% or something now? So, oh my gosh, that dog. Sorry you have to listen to that. He is ridiculous. I thought I had one more of these. Shoot. Well, I guess that's, I think I spaced some of them a little closer together than I had when I measured these all out originally. Chris, please go show him that his daddy is not home. I think he has dementia. We show him that his daddy is not home, but he forgets 5 minutes later and is barking at his door, trying to get in there. So I am going to pull some of these off here in a minute. So I'm dampening these again. Some transfers transfer really easy. Some take a little more water to transfer. So okay, so let's try these. I'm just going to pull up a corner here. There we go. Okay, so let me... You can see how this transfer is really nice. Oh, whoops. Almost dropped that in the... Here's one here, and there's one. Let me pull these off. Looks like they transferred really well. Christopher. I don't know what my son is doing, but he obviously isn't opening the door to let him see that his daddy is not home. Let's see here. Okay. Got one more to go to get that off of there. And there you go. So I think what I'm going to do is put some green inside the leaves. Take a really fine brush here. Let's see, I got this blue here, so I think I'm just going to put some green in there. And this is chartreuse. Put a little chartreuse in there, because I don't want it to be too dark. And a little bit of green. I think that'll be good. Let me get I think I'll get a smaller brush. Let's see. That looks. And I just buy brushes from usually Hobby Lobby. These are, gosh, this is so old. The paint's worn off. So okay, so now I'm just gonna kind of. I don't want to take too much time here, and I don't want this to be too thick, because I want if you put it on too thick, the color, the black underglaze, will not come through. So you have to put it on kind of thin. I hope this video doesn't end up being too long. And the black underglazes themselves, the transfers, they don't really smear. They really set pretty well. They get absorbed into the underglaze underneath of it, and you can do other colors besides, well, obviously you can do any color you want. I just bought a whole bunch of more underglazes, or I'm sorry, transfers. They're underglaze transfers. I don't know why I keep Saying underglazes. I have a ton of underglazes right now. Let's see. But yeah, I think it was San. No, it was Ellen Transfers. Ellen, E-L-A-N. I think she had some new ones come out, and I bought a bunch more. It's an addiction, you know. Just like when you go to the pottery store, you know, it's my favorite place on earth. And come home with a whole bunch of little transfers and underglazes and new brushes and stamps, and oh my gosh, there's just so much fun stuff. I just took a whole bunch of my molds and things to where I teach, because I ran out of space here in my house. How long have we gone? We've gone 51 minutes. I hate to go too long because, you know, a lot of people don't want to watch that long. Plus, you know, I think it would get tedious watching, you know, kind of like watching paint dry. But when you're painting with underglazes, I think, you know, people who are buying these pieces, I don't think they realize, you know, the time it takes to paint this stuff. It does take a lot of time. That's why it's hard to do, you know, videos when you're painting with underglazes, because there's just nothing, there's nothing fast about it. Let's see here. Just trying to put a little bit of color on these. If you're still watching, thank you for still watching. And if you like my videos, please subscribe. I don't do a lot of, I don't, you know, I won't spam your email, spam your inbox with videos, because I just don't do a lot. I did retire from my day job, though. I was a real estate agent. I did retire from that this week, which is exciting, because now I can spend more time doing the stained glass that I love. And I'm trying to incorporate clay into the stained glass by making ceramic frames for my stained glass. So if you're kind of following me, you probably have seen, I've been posting some of them, and so far they're okay. I'm not 100% thrilled with the outcome yet, but you know, I've got some ideas, and because I love stained glass, I just love when the sun goes through the glass. I just love the glass that is see-through. And really, glazes are made out of glass. That's what's in a lot of these glazes, is silica, which is glass. Let's see here. Let's do some reds. I think this is a bright red. I bought the cinnamon red, and I'll tell you, it's really dark, so if you're not looking for a brown red, don't buy it, because that's exactly how it fires. It's brown red. Let's see here. Oh, da 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 da. No. Just add a little bit of red to some of these, just to add a little more interest. I forgot to add some green. Add a little bit of yellow to it, and add. Forgot to do these leaves here. There we go. So again, this is, I threw this on the wheel. It is B-Mix 5 with grog. You know, I like it with the grog. It would be easier to paint on it without the grog, but the grog seems to make it easier to throw with. And since I hand build too, you know, I don't have to switch back and forth between no grog and with grog. And if you have a smaller studio, that's kind of hard to do. And I just have a room in my house, so I would love to have a big studio someday. If you guys followed Jessica Putnam Phillips, I'm sure you've seen the big studio she's building. Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. And John the Potter, John Schmidt, I think he did his a couple years ago, but oh my gosh, so jealous. Now let's see here. Kind of looking around here. Okay, so I'm going to throw a little bit of color on the bottoms of these, on the pots themselves, real quick here, so it won't take up too much of your time. Oh my Lord, that dog. I'm sorry you gotta listen to that. If I wasn't making a video, I'd go strangle my son for not, if you see on the news that a mother has strangled her child, it's probably me. No, just kidding, don't. It's always the way when you're making a video, or you get on the phone and your dogs bark, or there's always, you know, it's really hard because seems like there's always something going on. Sometimes I'll go to start making a video and the neighbors will be cutting their grass. They're like, really right now you can do that? But that's all right. It's not a big deal. Okay, finally got all that done. So there's how it looks now, and I will show a picture once this has been fired. but unfortunately it will probably not be. But I will show this video tonight, but I won't fire this tonight, so I'm sorry I'm not a big production potter. And I have a big kiln, so I don't, you know, until it's full I don't fire it. Okay, so now I'm going to take my, again, this is in a Zyme applicator bottle. It has Amaco Velvet Underglaze in it with a little bit of water. It's the jet black color. If it drips out the bottom, like I said, then it's you've added too much water. In that case, just dump it, dump it into another container. Add a little bit more underglaze. If it clogs a lot, you probably need to add a little more water. When you're using it, you want to pull it away from you. You don't ever want to go like this. Okay, you want to pull it this way. It does clog up a lot. It just, it's a lot of people use a lot of different types of applicator bottles. It really is just what works for you. This one has been one of my favorites because you don't have to squeeze it very hard to get the underglaze to come out, just because of the way it's shaped. If it clogs up, just put the pin back in. And now mine, if it clogs up a lot, and I get really mad at it, I will dump it out into a container and run it through a sieve. The best little sieve is this number 60 from clayscapespottery.com or clayscapes.com. You can it fits right inside one of these pint jars, but I set this inside of a jar, dump my underglaze through it, and get the chunks out. Yeah, see, so it does like to clog, but I guess the kitty cats are sleeping somewhere. They finally gave up bugging me, and they'll be awake tonight though when they run around the house like a crazy cats. They've been so much fun though. I really enjoyed having them. We were so upset when we lost our 2 dogs last fall and really missing them. So the cats do help. On some of my earlier videos, you'll hear Ernie. You'll hear his toenails click, click, click on the floor as I'm painting, because he would always come in to watch me. He always had to be by me, and he would, in fact, his bed is still underneath my table. Sometimes the cats lay in it, but he'd always sleep under my table. Sometimes you'd hear him snore. The hard part of using this underglaze here is that if you mess up, you're almost better letting it dry and paint over it, or if you try to wipe it off, it will smear and it'll take the colors that are underneath of it with it. Can you see what I'm doing there? So I'm just kind of outlining those pebbles. Okay, now I'm going to outline the fish, which for me seems always tricky because I don't like them if they're too dark. And then they got these, you know, these big lips. Wouldn't it be fun to be a fish, just swim around all day? Although I don't think of course, you know, if you were in, you know, the ocean and had to swim away from sharks all the time, that wouldn't be good. Then I guess it'd be no fun to be a fish. And I think, oh, well, let's see here. So what do you think? I'm really worried this blue up here is going to be too dark. I'm wishing that I had sponged more of that off, but we shall see. Where it's really thin, it may burn out a little bit, but typically this doesn't burn out a lot. So you can kind of see how I've added. Now, you can kind of see I've added some color on here. Some of that black from the Underglaze transfer will come through. So, and then I also, real quick, wanted to put some Underglaze transfers on the outside. I almost forgot, which I really wouldn't. I'm just going to put some words on here. I could just draw some leaves. That's what I usually do. Let's just draw. But I've got so many transfers, I thought it'd be fun to, let's see if you can see that. Oh, here we go. There, maybe you can see what I'm doing here a little better. Hello. Hi, baby girl. Hi, sweetheart. Okay, and then, no, that's poi poi. Poi poi. And I'm not going to worry about these being perfect. I know, you're rubbing all over me. What do you want? I know. I'll pet you when I'm done. Yes, I'll pet you when I'm done, I promise. I know. I like when their little motors run. They start purring. Yeah, let me close these up because you don't need to get into the underglazes. There we go. So just kind of keep wetting these. Do not smear them. Yeah, I see ya. Really, I do. I can hear your motor running. There we go. Alrighty, got a couple more to go. And I think what I'll do is, I think I'll draw little lines in between them. Hello, Millie. I know. You're looking at, no, you're messing up the camera, honey. No, get, shoo. Okay, we got a couple more to go, and I'll be done here. One more. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Grow. Okay, now I'm going to go back over each one and just kind of, you're just basically redampening those underglazes so they transfer on there. Okay. And now let's see here. I can do this, what I wanted to do. I have to do just a little squiggly line just to kind of connect them. I hope I'm not smearing the fish underneath. Yeah, that's dry. So I promise I will show you the, I'll add the fired picture to the video, but I just can't do it. Today's April 4th, and I'll upload this video tonight, but I won't have that done. So, and let me, I'm going to add, I think I'm going to add a little bit of color. Let's see here too. I think I'll add some blue since I have I don't want it real dark. If anybody would like a dog, my dog is for sale. He's only 14. He's got, you know, he's got a year left or so. Oh gosh. Okay, let me smear this or clean this up. I can't even think straight anymore. Can't even think straight. Okay, so let me pull these transfers off of here. There we go. That's coming off good. I don't know if you can see that. That one didn't take real well, but you can see it. They're upside down. Let me be careful when you're putting them on that you realize your bowl is upside down. It was so great making another video and getting back in the swing of this. I've got some more things to glaze, so in fact I'm going to do another one just like this. I shouldn't say just like this. I'm going to do another one with transfers over Underglaze, but I'm going to use this transfer. Wait a minute, let me set this down. I'm going to, so I don't smear this up. Ah, yikes. I'm going to use this one. Have you guys seen this one? I'm going to try to do that over light blue. So I'm going to do that on a platter. So I'll do another video of that. In the meantime, so this is how this turned out. Now this will get a clear coat of glaze over it and then fire to cone 5. And then this is how this looks. And then we'll say a prayer to to the kiln gods that it turns out okay. So it'll look basically like this, but just everything will be shiny and just a little bit darker. And that's, yeah. So the next one I'm going to do is going to be on a, I'm going to do a big platter. So I'll show you that. And I've got some other ideas for some more videos because I've got a lot of stuff to glaze from the classes I teach. I didn't get it all glazed, so I'll be bringing it home. But yeah, I think that'll look nice. And I always like to do the fish or add fish into the bottom of my mugs just to add a little bit of fun to them. So I appreciate you watching. And sorry this went on so long. But underglazes, you know, when you're painting, it takes a while, as you know. But if you like my channel, please subscribe. And thank you for watching. And I hope I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Any questions, put them in the comments. I try to answer all mine myself. If you have any questions at all, just let me know. And sometimes they get lost on Instagram. I don't know why, but yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, hopefully they won't get lost on there. I don't know why I have problems, but if I don't answer you back, it's probably because it disappears somewhere. I don't know where they go, but anyway, thanks for watching.